The next time you are stopped at a red light, look at the roof of the car in front of you. It's right there. A small black bump, smooth, curved, leaning toward the back of the roof. You have seen it 1,000 times and never thought about it once. It looks decorative. It looks like a styling choice, something an engineer added to make the car look a little more aggressive, a little more expensive. But inside that piece of plastic, no bigger than your hand, there is more active technology than there was in an entire car from the 1990s. And one of the things that little bump can do is help you and save your life while you are unconscious, while you cannot speak, while you do not even know it is happening. It is called the shark fin antenna, and it is not what you think it is. To understand why it's there and how it can save your life in an incident, you first have to understand the nightmare it replaced. A problem that tortured millions of drivers for decades and that every mechanic in the 80s and the 90s knew far too well. It all started with a metal stick. When radio first arrived in cars back in the 1930s, the antennas were simple. But once FM took over, cars needed bigger, more efficient external antennas. So they bolted long metal whips onto the fender, the hood, the windshield. None of them were perfect, but it was in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s that the whole thing reached the edge of absurd. Power antennas became the fashion. Those motorized chrome rods slid up automatically when you switched on the radio and dropped back down when you turned it off. They looked like the future. They were elegant. They were automatic. And they were a slow-motion disaster. The little motors burned out constantly. The mechanism jammed, leaving the rod stuck halfway. Water crept inside and rusted the gears. Repair shops saw broken antennas every single week. But the number one enemy wasn't rain or rust. It was the car wash. Forget to lower the antenna before you drove in, and the spinning brushes did the rest. They bent it, twisted it, or tore it clean off the roof. It happened so often that people developed little rituals. Unscrew the antenna before parking. Hide it in the glove box. Some drivers literally carried their antenna into work and screwed it back on when they came out. And then there were the vandals. A long, shiny metal rod sticking off a parked car was an irresistible target. People snapped them for fun, bent them, stole them. Walk through any parking lot in the 90s, and a car with no antenna was as common as a car with one. A whole world of frustration, all because of a simple radio receiver. And this is where it gets interesting. In the early 2000s, BMW became one of the first brands to popularize a completely different solution. A small, aerodynamic antenna built directly into the roof. They called it the shark fin, for the obvious reason. The shape looked exactly like the dorsal fin of a shark slicing through water. It didn't stick out dangerously. You couldn't bend it or rip it off. It sailed straight through the car wash. It barely made a sound at highway speed, where the old whip antennas used to whistle and create drag. But the most important thing was hidden inside. That one little shell could hold several completely different antennas at the same time. And the idea didn't even come from cars. Conformal antennas were originally developed for military aircraft, where every bump sticking out of the fuselage creates drag and slows the plane down. Engineers learned to build flat antennas directly into the skin of the aircraft. That concept jumped from the sky to the street. And the location is no accident either. The roof is the highest point of the car, with a clear, unobstructed line of sight to the sky, which is exactly what you need for GPS and satellite signals. It sits away from the big metal panels that would otherwise block and scramble the signal. But here's where it gets fascinating. Inside that smooth little plastic shell on the roof of almost every modern car, There are anywhere from 5 to 10 different antennas all working at the same time. There is AM and FM radio for the stations you have always listened to, GPS for navigation, satellite radio for services like SiriusXM, Bluetooth to connect your phone, Wi-Fi to turn the car into a rolling hotspot, a cellular antenna, 4G or 5G, to keep the car permanently online. There is even the link for your tire pressure monitoring system, and in many cars the receiver for remote keyless entry and remote start. High-end vehicles pack in multiple input, multiple output antennas, MIMO, to grab a stronger signal in weak coverage dead zones where your phone would normally give up. And then there is one more. The one almost no driver knows is even there. It's the antenna behind automatic crash notification. Here's how it works. When the car's sensors detect a serious accident, usually the moment the airbags deploy, the system automatically dials emergency services. Nobody has to press a button. Nobody has to say a word. It works even if every single person in the car is unconscious. In the United States, you've probably heard it under names like OnStar or SOS call. The system connects you to a responder and, in a crash, can reach 911 on its own. In Europe, it's called eCall, and since 2018, every new car sold is legally required to have it built in. The instant it connects, it transmits the exact GPS location of the crash, the direction the car was traveling, the time of impact, and the vehicle identification number, all before a single operator has said hello. The European Commission estimated that this kind of system can cut emergency response times by about 40% in cities and up to 50% in rural areas. Once it's in every car on the road, it could save thousands of lives a year. And the antenna that makes that call possible is sitting inside the shark fin. Without it, the car couldn't reach the cellular network at all. In a serious crash, every minute that passes is the difference between life and death. Now here is where it gets really interesting, because the future of this little fin goes far beyond emergencies. The technology being built right now will completely change what it means to drive. It is called V2X, vehicle to everything. V2V, vehicle to vehicle, lets cars talk to each other in real time. A car that slams on its brakes can warn the cars behind it before the drivers even see the brake lights. A car that hits a patch of ice can alert everyone else in the area. Two cars approaching a blind intersection can quietly coordinate to avoid a collision nobody saw coming. V2I, vehicle to infrastructure, connects your car to traffic lights, road signs, and toll booths. A traffic light can tell your car how many seconds until it turns green, so the car adjusts its speed to arrive exactly as it opens. Tolls get paid without stopping. Parking garages broadcast their open spaces in real time. All of it needs antennas, and those antennas live in the shark fin. For a fully self-driving Level 5 car with no driver at all, engineers estimate a vehicle could need up to 18 different antennas. The shark fin we have today simply can't hold them all. That's why they are already building flat conformal antennas hidden inside the windows, the bumpers, and the body panels. In the future, the visible shark fin might disappear entirely, because the whole car will become one giant antenna. But before you go thinking the shark fin is flawless, here's the honest part. It isn't. Those old metal whip antennas actually still pull in weak AM radio a little better, especially deep in the countryside where the signal is faint. That is why a lot of cars quietly hide a backup wire antenna inside the rear window to help out. And the shark fin is more expensive to fix. Snap off an old whip and you screwed a new one on yourself for a few dollars. Damage a shark fin and you are usually ordering a specific part for your exact model and paying for professional installation. Which brings us to something most drivers have no idea about. There are people who buy fake shark fins online, hollow plastic shells with absolutely nothing inside, no electronics, no antennas, no wiring, just a decoration to make the car look sportier. They receive nothing, they transmit nothing. And the people who rip off their real fin and bolt on a cheap generic one are shocked when their GPS gets worse and their radio starts dropping out. The real antenna has tuned components and built-in amplifiers matched specifically to that car. A $10 plastic shell has none of that. So the next time you see that small bump on the roof of a car, remember what it's really hiding. GPS, so you never get lost. Radio for the music, Bluetooth for your phone, a permanent connection to the cellular network, and a silent guardian that can call emergency services for you while you're unconscious, sending your exact location and guiding rescuers straight to where you are. It started as a metal stick that vandals snapped off in parking lots. Today, it's the nervous system of a machine that no longer just carries you. It connects you, it protects you, and in the worst moment of your life, it can speak for you when you no longer can. If you made it this far, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss videos like this one. I'll see you in the next one.